Member is acknowledging that they are attending the meeting via Zoom and that they are located in Wayne County, Michigan, unless otherwise stated when I call your name. Commissioner Kniezek. Commissioner Kniezek.
Here.
Commissioner Clark-Coleman.
Here.
Commissioner Basham.
Here.
Commissioner Killeen.
Here.
Chair Dobb.
Here.
You have a quorum present.
Thank you. Next item.
B, Chairwoman's remarks.
I just did want to say one thing. I saw Brian Manning is here on the meeting with us, and I just got home from the Michigan Association of Counties annual conference up on Mackinac Island, and Brian was there as well, giving a talk on how Wayne County is planning to, or working on how we're going to plan on distribute and use our ARPA funds. His talk was very well attended, and I think a lot of the other county officials throughout the state really appreciated the information. So I just wanted to say thank you to Brian for doing that. So next item, please.
C, approval of the September 8th, 2021 meeting minutes.
Move approval, Madam Chair. Colleen.
Support. We have a motion and support. Is there any discussion on the meeting minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Next item, please.
D, unfinished business. There is none listed.
Next item.
Item 1, under new business, communication from Sue Hammoud, Deputy Corporation Counsel, forwarding the Department of Corporation Counsel's settlement report for August 2021.
Thank you. Do we have any commissioner questions? I see Commissioner Killeen.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We received this report as a result of a budget instruction, I believe. And I may have missed it, but I didn't see it. I didn't see the budget instruction in the paperwork we got. What's the what is required in this report? If I recall, it was settlements under 100,000. Is that correct? What's required for this report?
Good afternoon, everyone. I apologize. I am not certain what is required in the report. My understanding was that it's a report that's submitted to the commission that lists the settlements from Corporation Counsel during a specific month, even those that were submitted to the commission for approval.
Yeah, Ms. Hammoud, thank you. Is Commission Counsel on? Because I don't believe, Ms. Hammoud, that if you have a settlement for $14.6 million, it's just a receive and file item for the commission. There is some, if Commission Counsel is on and can.
I am.
Yeah. So what's the requirements for what kinds of settlements come to the commission in this fashion as a receive and file item?
And I don't have the resolution in front of me to tell you the amounts, but every year this body does approve a resolution authorizing Corporation Counsel to enter into settlements. Off the top of my head, I think the amounts are like relatively 35 goes under 35. I think Corp Counsel can do unilaterally. I believe over 35 to 50 goes to the chairwoman of the chairperson of the commission, and anything over 50 goes to the full body. This report shouldn't be reflective of what actually was received and filed versus what was approved. I believe this should just be a summary of all of the settlements. I can try during the course of this meeting to actually pull up the budget instructions and the particular resolution and maybe provide you with additional information towards the end of the meeting. But this report I don't think should reflect what has been approved or not. This just may be a report of all settlements.
Okay. That would be good, Counsel, if you could follow up on that, because I did note one of these is 60,000.
Through the chair, this is Joe Slazak. This report is actually all settlements. And it's actually not a budget instruction. It's an annual, like Felicia said, an annual resolution. In fact, the next annual resolution should be coming to you soon. It is here with us. Anything that's basically settlements that are less than 20,000, Corp Council can handle on its own, which there is one in this report. But if it's more than 20,000, it's got to come to the commission. So on this report, there is one that did come to the commission for closed session, and there's one that that did not because it was below that threshold.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess just in the future, I'd appreciate when reports like this come, that we have the background, what the rules are, what the report is telling us. Because I appreciate, and that the explanation that kind of rings true to me. But as I go through my agenda to actually see what this report is and where it fits in, and just have that background information, and then I won't ask about it at committee. All righty. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Madam Chair.
If I may, through the chair, Commissioner.
Yes, and I'm sorry, Sue, can you identify yourself for the record?
Sure, Sue Hamud, Deputy Corporation Counsel. I just want to be clear in response to Commissioner Colleen's. The report does include, as in terms of a receive and file, does include all settlements that Corporation Counsel entered into, including those which are individually brought to the commission for approval. As Mr. Slezak and Ms. Johnson referenced the resolution, settlements under $20,000 can be approved by Corporation Counsel. Those would be included in this report. Anything over $20,000 would come to commission individually for approval. And even though they are individually approved by this body, we would also include them in the settlement report, just as a package that they have been settled, even though the commission has already approved that settlement.
Right. Yeah. And that's what Commission Counsel was saying too. But, you know, over the years, there's been a lot of discussion in this commission about settlements and about what Corp Counsel can approve and what has to come here. So I guess my request is when an annual report comes like this, the background information of why is this report coming? What is it obligated to tell us? I would just like to see that come in my paperwork in the future. And we don't have to talk about it here because it'll be in there. So thanks, Madam Chair, and I'll move this for receive and file.
Okay, so we do have a motion for receive and file. I just wanted to make one quick comment, kind of to go with Commissioner Colleen's question. So I am looking at the settlement log, and the one settlement that's over $20,000, there is a field that says commission resolution number. So, but there's nothing in there. So I don't know if that was just, you know, an error, someone didn't enter it in, but if that was entered in there, that would let us know that it did come before the commission. We could, you know, verify that resolution number, and it would just kind of be an extra layer of checking that everything's good. So, but that's all I have. So we've got a motion to receive and file. Can I get support? Was that Commissioner Basham? Okay.
Yes.
All right. All those in, or I'm sorry, is there any more questions or discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Next item.
Item 2, communication from Robert E. Hornyak submitting his resignation from the Wayne County Peer Review Group of Surveyors.
Okay, do we have any questions or discussion on this item?
Move to receive and file. Colleen.
We have a motion. Any support?
Support.
We've got a motion and support. Although, any other further discussion? All those in favor? Say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Next item, please.
Item 3, approval of an ordinance by Commissioner Bell to amend Chapter 177 of the Wayne County Code of Ordinances, Women's Commission Ordinance.
Okay. Do we have any questions? Discussion?
So through the chair, just as a general background, these proposed amendments will allow the Women's Commission, who's a voluntary board of 19, to have flexibility with regards to their meetings and being able to continue to meet virtually after, from now, allowing them to continue to meet virtually based on their responsibilities and their duties. And after reviewing the OMA, these few revisions will allow them not to be subject to the OMA, which is not something I can say for most boards, because most boards, they do take upon duties that are considered to be public policy, such as, like the ethics board and looking at the ethics complaints. We have boards that issue bonds, we have boards that issue levy taxes. This board simply advocates for and provides information to the commission regarding women's issues. So that is the recommendation, that these amendments be made to allow them flexibility in the future to meet virtually.
Thank you. Commissioner Colleen?
Yeah, and council just spoke to part of my question with regards to why the Open Meetings Act was deleted. Council, is that the same logic that applies then to the FOIA section, which was deleted?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's not to say that their items are not subject to FOIA, but just to be clear about the Open Meetings Act piece, we took that out. But any requests we will get, we will process accordingly. That language simply isn't necessary, and we wanted to avoid any confusion.
All righty. Thank you, council. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Move approval.
Support, Colleen.
Right, we have a motion and support. I just have one final question for Commission Council. So this doesn't have anything to do with the emergency health order. This will be an indefinite order. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you. All right, we have motion and support. We need to do a roll call vote on this. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Commissioner Kniezek,
Yes.
Commissioner Clark Coleman,
Yes.
Commissioner Basham,
Yes.
Commissioner Colleen,
Aye.
Chair Dobb.
Yes. Motion passes. Next item, please.
Item 4, requesting commission approval of a 3-year comparable source software as a service license agreement with 2 one-year options to renew with Oracle America.
Okay, is there someone here who can just give us a brief summary, speak on this item, what it's for?
I am Tori Woods here from the Department of Information Technology. Basically, this contract is for, as she stated, software services licenses. These Oracle licenses were previously acquired through the ERP implementer Cherry Roads Technologies. And in departing from that relationship, we are now seeking to procure these licenses direct with Oracle Americas.
Okay, so we couldn't just keep them the way we had them through Cherry Road. We have to go and
Well, though the licenses through Cherry Roads were set to expire September 31st or September 30th, I'm sorry. And so we would have had to enter into another contract for October 1st going forward. And in doing so, because we separated from Cherry Roads, we're going direct with Oracle now for the contract moving forward.
Okay, thank you. Any commissioner questions? Commissioner Colleen?
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I have a question for Commission Council. I noted in the paperwork that Oracle objected to, I don't know, 3 or 5 of the questions on the ethics. What's that piece of paperwork called? Where we asked, make sure that that the companies we're dealing with are hitting all of our ethical standards. And so there was a little discussion that Oracle objected to 3, 4, 5 of the questions in there, but then there was kind of this statement like, well, it's all worked out now. Commission Counsel, can you tell us about that and why it's good now, even though Oracle objected to submitting that document originally?
Through the chair to Commissioner Killeen, I'm actually not aware of why the department or procurement has determined that it's okay now. So I will have to defer to them to actually provide you with that response. They are required to complete the form. There is no requirement that they not be approved based on their responses. The requirement is that they make the disclosure to the body. So I'll have to defer to the department or procurement to tell you why they believe that the issues are resolved. I'm aware that we received that information, though Joe may be, but I'm not aware of that.
Through the chair, and this is Joe Slazak again. And it is the ethics and contracting form that they are required to fill out, and I think my impression, and I'll defer to Tori on this, is that I guess kind of the method of procurement per se versus the questions, and I really, but also it was noted that the procurement division and corporation counsel were okay with Oracle's answers.
Okay. Well, if there is somebody from I guess either purchasing or corporation counsel, I like ethics in contracting. And if I have somebody who wants to do business with us that is raising issues about us asking about that, then I certainly would more of an explanation than just, well, we worked it out, so we're good to go.
I do see we have Aaron Wagner on. Aaron,
Yes.
would you like to comment?
Yeah, through the chair, Commissioner Killeen, Kevin Kavanaugh and I worked pretty diligently with the department, Oracle, and Oracle's corporation counsel to get them to complete the form as it's presented today. Due to the nature of the organization, it is very, very difficult to get them to commit to these ordinance requirements. You are correct in that, they completed the form. They objected to many of the answers in it, but the challenge that we have with an organization such as this is that they own PeopleSoft, they own JD Edwards, and it is the initial read on this was they actually redlined our document, which we found entirely unacceptable. And so we got the organization to complete the form as stated before, but they took issue with some of the questions, especially referencing that these licenses and the cost of these licenses and the method that we had obtained the pricing of these licenses were through the state. And so we were able to negotiate and keep to more preferable pricing through the state contract than even what we paid with Cherry Road. So at the end of the day, it was deemed it's in the county's best interest to accept the form as presented and move on.
And you said the key words, Mr. Wagner, that's the requirements in the ordinance for this. I think I'd be ready to move forward today with this, Madam Chair, but I would like whoever it might be, corporation counsel or purchasing, to draft a memo to the commission and to commission counsel saying, this is why we think that the paperwork they submitted is in conformance with our ethics ordinance, and let commission counsel and commission staff see what that explanation is, and if they agree that this does satisfy the ordinance. I understand what you're up against, Mr. Wagner, when you talk about the company and how it's placed and where we're at, and maybe not a whole lot of other places to go if it ain't them. But is it possible, Mr. Wagner, that you could submit such a thing, or corporation counsel could, to the commission to say, okay, this document for the ethics looks a little bit different than previous ones do, but this is why we think it's a go, and it conforms to our ordinances.
I will certainly commit to getting a memo to commission before full board.
That would be great. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just making a note here. Okay, do we have any other commissioner questions or discussion on item number 4? Okay, hearing none. Did we have a motion for this item?
No, we need one.
Okay, anyone want to make a motion?
So moved.
All right, we've got a motion made by Commissioner Basham. Any support?
Support.
Okay, and supported by Commissioner Clark Coleman. Madam Clerk, excuse me, roll call, please.
Commissioner Knezek,
Yes.
Commissioner Clark Coleman,
Yes.
Commissioner Basham,
Yes.
Commissioner Colleen,
Aye.
Chair Dobb.
Yes, motion passes. Next item, I'd like to take items number 5 through 10 together.
Madam Chair, I will move to approve items 5 through 10, all insurance policies that we have gotten through an independent agent who's not making money on any of these, at least not from us. And they were all given exigent approval by the chair.
Support.
We've got motion and support. Any discussion? Questions? We'll just scroll down to the last item. Okay, hearing none. I'm sorry, do we need to do a voice vote on this?
Yes.
Okay.
No, roll call,
Roll call, please.
not voice.
Yeah, voice, yeah. Sorry, I'm all mixed up now.
But I will use my voice during roll call.
Right. We will do a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Knezek,
Yes.
Commissioner Clark Coleman,
Yes.
Commissioner Basham,
I'll voice my opinion, yes.
Commissioner Colleen,
Aye.
Chair Dobb.
Yes, motion passes. Next item, please.
Item 11, requesting commission approval of Amendment 1 to a grant agreement with the Michigan Department of Licensing and Regulatory Affairs.
Okay, this is for the Michigan Indigent Defense Commission. Do we have any questions, discussion? Commissioner Colleen?
Thank you, Madam Chair. There's been some discussion in the last month or two that the state of Michigan might be looking at, changing the rules a little bit on the cost sharing between the state and the counties and who's going to pick up what costs. And the discussion a month or so ago was that the state's going to put more of the cost of this transition onto counties. Does this agreement reflect any of that? Has there been a decision made on that by the state yet?
Through the chair, if I could, good afternoon, Robin Dillard, Director of Indigent Defense Services Department. Commissioner Colleen, this particular extension does not address the local share, is what I believe you're referring to.
That's what I'm referring to.
Yep, this is simply an extension to allow us to spend the fiscal 21 grant funds until we secure the fiscal 22 grant. I do know, I believe Drew Vandergriff may be on the line, but I do know, Commissioner Colleen, that there are some work groups that have been meeting regarding the local share. And the county's position, obviously, is that the state, the county should not take on more than its own responsibility. So we are staunch advocates for that. But I can't speak to right now where they are in that process of further exploration of the local share.
Okay, and I'm aware of this because they had public sector consulting go out
Right.
and do some, they asked counties to have a few people give input to public sector consultants on the state putting more of the costs as these, what do you call them, steps or whatever roll out. That we're up to about step 7 or whatever. There's more to go. And I guess I just want to make my colleagues aware that this is a discussion that's going on in the background, where the state is saying, as we implement more of these, that we want the counties to pick up a bigger share of paying for this transition than was the original idea that the state put out. And indeed, I talked to Corporation Counsel, and we did give copious feedback to public sector consulting saying, no way in HE double hockey sticks are you going to put more cost for this on the counties. But I guess that decision is still down the road, but is perhaps something we could be facing from the state. Okay, so it doesn't apply here. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions or discussion from commissioners?
Move approval, Madam Chair.
Support.
We've got a motion and support. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Kniezek,
Yes.
Commissioner Clark Coleman,
Yes.
Commissioner Basham,
Yes.
Commissioner Killeen,
Aye.
Chair Dobb,
Yes. Motion passes. Next item, please.
Item 12, requesting commission approval of amendment to a 2-year contract with a 2-year option to renew with Karub Associates.
Okay. Do we have anyone from Karub on the line with us?
Yep. Madam Chair, it's Jim Curran, representing Karub Associates.
Hello. Do you just want to give a little brief summary or?
Yes, we are at Karub Associates proud to be entering our 40th year representing Wayne County. A longstanding relationship, obviously, that's important to us, and just wanted to make myself available, and I'm on with my colleagues Shelley Stahl and Sam Olson, but just touch on a couple of the items that are of interest to the commission in terms of the operation, whether it be where things stand with Open Meetings Act and the virtual meeting allowance and how long that may be extended. We're working on the 4-year terms for commissioners. So those are things that we've been involved in all along. Some of the bigger projects that the county is pursuing that we're actively supporting, support for the International Technology Center, support for Freedom Village 2 in Inkster, and then kind of the big item that we're looking for, not necessarily a particular item, but trying to identify as Recovery Act dollars are distributed, that a state match for some of the local priorities is included in the overall package passed by the legislature and approved by the governor. So those are some things both commission specific and countywide that we're paying attention to and advocating for, and just excited to continue our relationship with the county into our 50th.
Okay, great. So I do appreciate the reports that we get via email, but I would love to invite you or any of your associates that are on the line to come into our government operations committee meetings and give us an update so that we can talk and discuss our priorities. So if that's if that's something that would work for you guys, we would love to start doing that.
Sure, whatever makes most sense on your end. we
Okay,
can
yep,
accommodate.
we can connect offline and set something up. So I see Commissioner Basham has his hand raised.
Thank you, Madam Chair. There's always, and by the way, Karub does a wonderful job. I've known Karub and people that work for Karub for a long, long time. But we have a responsibility as commissioners to, there's always important stuff going on. When are we going to bid these contracts out? Should be lowest qualified bidder.
Is there
Because,
any,
and this would be rhetorical question. It's like, so because somebody's did a good job for 40 years, do you continue to keep them for another 40? Or do we bid them out when the contract expires?
is there anyone from the administration who would like to respond to that?
I can speak from Corporation Counsel if needed.
Okay, yeah,
I see
please
Brian.
identify yourself and for the record, please.
This is Libby Bustiker, Assistant Wayne County Corporation Counsel, and I'll let Brian chime in. He has his hand raised as well if he would like to add anything. But our understanding is that Karub has deep experience with the county's needs and is best positioned to advocate on our state legislative matters. Brian, do you have anything that you'd like to add?
Sure. Through the chair, to address Commissioner Basham's understood and received point. Commissioner Basham, we did follow some internal discussion about this, and I mean, candidly, where we're falling right now on this is we have two state multi-client lobbyists involved right now on advocacy for the county on state legislative matters. And right now, we've got an unprecedented amount of federal relief sitting up there, about $6 billion and another $2.5 billion in unallocated, surplus at the state, and just right in the midst of what's probably going to be unprecedented amounts of allocation down to local government. We just really reflected on this and felt like it was in the county's interest to maintain the current lineup, given the depth of knowledge of the county and just sort of the established pattern of intelligence gathering, communication, and project management that we have with the two teams. Noted, these are public funds that we have a responsibility to the public to drive, value, if not price. So, but for right now, given sort of the unique and exigent nature of what's going on with state budgeting and sort of how the county itself has an enormous interest in this, this is why we proceeded to kind of keep the lineup intact for now.
And if I may, it's not up to you, it's up to us. And I hear you making a decision, but I've been a former state rep, state senator, county commissioner for 11 years, chair audit. It's about us doing our job as commissioners. I have personal friends that work for Karub. It's not about personal friends. It's about me as a commissioner doing my job. And it's about keeping sunshine on a process or putting sunshine on a process. And the last time anything came up, it was the same conversation. We've always had issues. And we, the commission, should actually put contracts up for bid when they're due. And that's not to say Karub won't win the contract. But the thing of it is, at least it should go to the lowest qualified bidder, and Karub should be in the bidding. But it's not about us against Karub. It's about us doing our job as commissioners. That's why I'm the skunk at the picnic. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Basham. Commissioner Colleen.
You're on
Commissioner,
mute.
you have your hand up, you're on mute.
I believe this is amendment number 2 to an existing contract that allows for a, I believe it's a 2-year extension under the contract. This is an existing contract, correct? It's not a new contract.
That's correct.
So it is a existing contract that the commission has approved that had 2 renewals baked into the contract. This is the second option that we're taking. I guess my question following up on Commissioner Basham is when this extension is over, does the administration intend to bid this out once this contract expires, which it is not as of today?
Through the chair, this is Aaron Wagner, the procurement director. You know, it is my intention to work with the administration to look into taking these services back out to bid once this extension is coming on to its full term.
Okay.
If I can
And,
jump in there, I'm sorry,
yeah,
for point of order.
Yes, Commissioner Basham.
Talked about working with the administration. It took me, the deputy county exec, he kept saying administration. It's actually the commission is part of government in Wayne County also. So you need to work with the commission and the administration.
Commissioner
And
Colleen?
my other question to follow up was, in this 40-year history, since we first awarded a contract to Karub, have we gone out to bid at all on over the 40 years when Karub's contracts expire? Have there been RFPs previously in those 40 years when the contract expired? I'm going through the paperwork now.
I am not familiar with that history. I don't know if there's anyone else here who could speak to that. Otherwise, that's something, if you'd like us to come back and provide you with a response after this meeting, I would be happy to do that if we can collect any information.
Well, I think that would help with the questions that are being proposed here, which Commissioner Basham actually has put his finger correctly on it. And that's, you know, how we go about public contracting. So, yeah, I would like to know how many times we've gone out for bid on this when the Karub contract in the past has expired. Have we issued RFPs on previously expired contracts? So if that's easy enough to do, I would certainly appreciate that before full board.
And also, Commissioner, this is Joe Slazak. Just as a clarification, the option to renew for this contract was exercised through amendment number 1. So this is essentially extending it. The option has already been exercised.
Requesting approval of amendment number 2.
Yes, amendment number 2 is extending it, but amendment number 1 was the exercising the option.
So there was only one 2-year option.
Correct. And that's already been exercised.
I see. So we are at then. So Commissioner Basham's question is even more to the point. And now I understand what Mr. Manning is saying, that we're just going to extend this contract for 2 years. But in that case, well, we'll deal with the issue of sending it out for bid. Should the commission approve this amendment today, we'll have to deal with that issue 2 years from now, when this 2-year extension expires. Okay, got a good picture of it now. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Colleen. And then Corporation Counsel, if you could get that information to us regarding how many times we've put up this contract for bid in the past, if you could get that to us before full board next week.
Absolutely, Chair Dobb. Thank you. I will get that summarized for you. Try to collect as much information as we can.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Clark Coleman.
Move approval of the extension.
Okay, got a motion for approval. Anyone want to support?
I will support that, Colleen.
A motion for approval and support. Any further discussion? Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Kenizik,
Yes.
Commissioner Clark Coleman,
Yes.
Commissioner Basham,
No.
Commissioner Colleen,
Aye.
Chair Dobb,
Yes. Motion passes. Next item, please.
Item 13, requesting commission approval of retroactive amendment 1 to a 2-year legal services agreement with Allen Brothers Attorneys and Counselors, Pllc.
Is there anyone here to speak on this item, just to give us a?
I am Chair Dodd, Tracy McAllister, Chief Assistant Corporation Counsel.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm just trying to go through my notes just to refresh my memory on what this is, but if you can just give us a brief summary.
Sure. The county retained the services of the Allen Brothers Law Firm to assist us with the defense of a discrimination retaliation complaint that was filed by a former employee of DPS. He claims he was terminated. I don't know why this terminated for engaging in protected activity. So the county did end up settling this case for $20,000. It mediated with the federal court judge, and we didn't feel we'd be likely to succeed on a motion for summary, so we ended up resolving the case.
Madam Chair, it's too garbled. I can't understand what they're saying.
Yeah, sorry, I'm in the office at Wayne County. I don't know why the connection is so poor. Again, it's an employment-related case, retaliation. It was settled for $20,000, and a lot of work. I hear the static again, sorry for that. A lot of work was done at the end of the contract period for the first $35,000 with preparing for mediation and facilitation and a motion. And we couldn't pay all the bills for the Allen Brothers, so we were asking for a modification of the contract to add an additional $35,000 to the contract.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Basham. Yeah.
You know, Madam Chair, I'm going to ask why it's retroactive.
Right.
And again, apologize for the retroactivity of this. A lot of work was done in a bulk, very short period of time, because a lot of big events took place, like a lot of depositions, discovery. We prepared for a motion and filed it, and we handled the facilitation. So there was a lot of legal costs in a very condensed period of time. Allen Brothers sent us some big bills that we couldn't pay with the first $35,000. So apologize for that, but that's the reason for the modification. This case is resolved. There won't be any more money on this contract.
Are you all set, Commissioner Basham?
Yes.
Okay. Any further discussion on item number 15? Can I get a motion for this item?
Colleen moves approval of item 13.
Support.
Been moved and supported. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Kenizik,
Yes.
Commissioner Clark Coleman,
Yes.
Commissioner Basham,
I'm abstaining on this one.
Commissioner Colleen,
Aye.
Chair Dobb,
Yes. Motion passes. Next item.
Item 14, requesting commission approval of a collective bargaining agreement with Absentee Council 25, Wayne County Law Enforcement Supervisor, Local 3317, AFL-CIO.
Okay, do we have any discussion on this item? Commissioner Basham, are you raising your hand?
I am raising my hand, Madam Chair. That's a negotiated contract, and because it is, and it's been vetted between the union and the administration, I would move it at this point.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any further discussion? A roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Kenizik,
Yes.
Commissioner Clark Coleman,
Yes.
Commissioner Basham,
Yes.
Commissioner Killeen,
Aye.
Chair Dobb,
Yes. Motion passes. Okay, and now I'd like to move to the addenda, item 16, please.
Item 16, requesting commission approval of modification to an agreement with the Third Circuit Court of Michigan.
All right, any discussion on this item?
Yeah.
Is that a
Come on.
question, Commissioner Killeen?
Yeah, no, I was going for the hand thing and
Oh.
school bars pop up and block it. Okay, so
Go ahead.
I think we've had 5-year agreements to provide certainty of the funding for Third Circuit Court. And I believe this is just an extension onto a 5-year. I believe we've had 2 5-year agreements. Is that correct? And now this is extending. 5 years is up and now we're extending this like we did the other contract we discussed. Is that the case here?
May I address that, Chair Dobb?
Yes, please identify yourself for the record.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, Chair Dobb and Commissioners. Good afternoon, Commissioner Killeen. We had originally a 4-year agreement, which was as a result of settling a circuit court lawsuit brought by the Third Circuit against the county.
Right.
That case came out in 2010, so that first agreement was 4 years. After that, we had a second master funding agreement, which replaced the first agreement. After the second 4-year funding agreement, we had modification number 1, that was last year. And now this is modification number 2 to the second funding agreement. Does that help?
Well, how long did the second funding agreement run?
4 years, from 2016 to 2020.
And is this the future, Counselor, that we're going to be doing these 4 or 5-year agreements going into the future too, and not doing it on an annual basis like everybody else that we do for budgeting purposes?
So I'm not sure if you're asking if this is the future to do modifications, or if you're asking if this is the future to do funding agreements.
Well, I'll take both. When this expires, are you going to do a new funding agreement? Is that the idea, that we're going to be looking at a series of 4 or 5 years agreement into the future with the courts?
There is a provision in this modification that there will be a committee formed to discuss that and to come up with another master funding agreement. That doesn't mean that the committee might decide a new master is not needed. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I do know that there's a part of this agreement to form a committee to discuss whether another agreement is necessary, and if so, what that should encompass.
Well, every time this comes up, and I'm going to repeat this again today, this is the Third Circuit Court of Michigan, not the Third Circuit Court of Wayne County, Third Circuit of Michigan. And under the Supreme Court's theory of one unified court, then the cost of running these courts should be on the state, not on the county. State of Michigan, pay for your own courts and quit putting the cost on us for that. But all right, I understand what the futures may look like now. Thank you, Counselor. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Any other discussion on this item? Can I get a motion, please?
Move approval.
Any support?
Support, Colleen.
Been moved by Commissioner Clark Coleman, supported by Commissioner Killeen. Madam Clerk, please call the roll for a vote.
Commissioner Kenizik,
Yes.
Commissioner Clark Coleman,
Yes.
Commissioner Basham,
Yes.
Commissioner Killeen,
Aye.
Chair Dobb,
Yes, motion passes. Next item, please.
Item 15, requesting commission approval of Amendment 1 to a settlement agreement and limited release with Z Contractors. Corporation Counsel has reviewed the litigation and is of the opinion that the discussion of a trial or settlement strategy in connection with specific pending litigation in an open meeting will have a detrimental financial effect on the county's litigation or settlement position. Therefore, a closed session is requested.
Move for a closed session.
And I support that.
Roll call vote for a closed session.
Commissioner Kanizik,
Yes.
Commissioner Clark Coleman,
Yes.
Commissioner Basham,
Yes.
Commissioner Colleen,
Aye.
Chair Dobb.
Yes. Motion passes. Okay, thank you, Madam Clerk. We will return to item number 15. And can I get a motion on this item?
So moved.
Any support?
Support.
From Colleen, yeah. No, I'm late. Okay.
Been moved by Commissioner Basham, supported by Commissioner Clark Coleman. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Kanizik,
Yes.
Commissioner Clark Coleman,
Yes.
Commissioner Basham,
Yes.
Commissioner Colleen,
Aye.
Chair Dobb.
Yes. Motion passes. Next item.
F, such other matters as may be properly submitted before the committee.
Okay, I have none. Next item.
Public comments,
Do we have any emails?
no emails were received.
Okay, would you please unmute everyone's lines? If there is anyone from the public who wishes to make a comment to the Committee on Government Operations, you may speak now. You have 2 minutes. And if you're not unmuted, you can just go ahead and unmute yourself. Is there anyone from the public who wishes to make a comment? One last time, anyone from the public wishing to address the Committee on Government Operations? Right, hearing none. Next item, please.
Adjournment,
So moved.
Can I get a support?
Support.
All right, it's been moved and supported. We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Long agenda,
You too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
but that's okay. We do business. That's what we do.